This media project is created by Dan Armstrong in accordance with Full Sail University requirements for Masters of Education in Media Design and Technology. The 3D model of this classroom we will be using was designed by Cody Billups, a high school senior at Lake City High School in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. This model will provide us with an opportunity to look at firsthand 3 major situations that can exist with the environment within the classroom. First, we will take a look at individual student workstations to see how they can be created more effectively and meet industry standards. Next, we will take a look at traffic patterns within the classroom and the arrangement of the classroom, including filing cabinets and also the teacher's desk and large equipment such as the printer. We will then take a look at the decoration or the decor in the room to see how it may be more suitably done to create a brain-based learning environment. Through the use of this model, we will be able to get an actual, realistic idea of what this classroom could be and what it might look like if it was based off of a model for brain-based learning and a more effective workplace. The first element we will look at within the classroom is the student workstation. The older workstations that were in place in the room were from 1999, housed a 200 megahertz processor and a 40 gig hard drive. These stations were being used with Photoshop 7.0 and Final Cut Pro 4 for video editing and digital design. These stations are in need of an update, and the current station would look as follows. In analyzing this workstation, we see that it is a new iMac 20-inch computer, which is often used in the industry for media design. This type of computer will provide hardware support for an update for the new software that will be required for the computer. The computer will contain the Adobe CS4 Creative Suite Design Premium Edition. This package of software will contain all the creative tools that the student will need to design their projects. It includes things such as Dreamweaver for web design and Flash for interactive elements over the web. Also, it contains Photoshop and Illustrator, which are ideal for creating business logos and perfecting professional photography. Also, it has a creative tool called InDesign, which will allow them to make business mediums such as brochures, name badges, templates, and other things that business people would need. This eMac is the type of computer that was used primarily for the high-end video editing that was happening in the classroom. This type of computer is quite out of date. About 6 years ago it was made, and they housed about a 1.2 gigahertz processor and were able to run Final Cut Pro 4 fairly well. Rendering times on these machines were quite extensive and took up large amounts of time. The research that has been conducted for video editing and an ideal workstation has been extensive and very thorough. Both Final Cut Pro and Sony Vegas Pro 9 have been examined in close detail for the video editing solution of this classroom. In the end, Sony Vegas Pro 9 was chosen because of the many things which set it apart from other editing softwares. This video screen capture is of Sony Vegas Pro 9. It is showing a multi-camera track edit. The 4 tracks have been combined into one, and we now turn on the multi-camera editing preview window. The blue box in the previewer will change from clip to clip depending on which camera is desired for the appropriate angle. This is something that is unique to Sony Vegas Pro editing software. This is done directly from the timeline. As you notice, when the box changes directions by the simple press of a 1, 2, 3, 3 or 4 button, depending on which camera angle is desired, the cuts are automatically made on the timeline below. We now switch out of multi-camera editing mode to watch the preview of the actual edited clip. We can see that it jumps from one camera to the next camera seamlessly, as the audio was spiked in the beginning so that the clips could be lined up. This is one of the features that the students will benefit and learn about for an industry standard through Sony Vegas Pro 9 that they may not get in other pieces of software available to a high school classroom. And so the ideal workstation would look something similar to this. It would have 2 monitors and a tower so that we could house the data that would need to be stored. This type of tower would house up to 4 hard drives and supports up to 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's very comparable to the Mac Pro tower, excepting that the cost is quite a bit lower. However, with a PC, you are also dealing with a more extensive operating system that will use more system resources, which could slow down some playback times.